The year was 2005, when I was messing around with cheat codes in StarCraft Brood Wars.
I'm the man who...
My father came back home with a box full of DVDs. It was a full collection of bootleg poorly Vietnamese dubbed version of Kamen Rider Ryuki. And from the first time I watched it, I was hooked. The show was so good when I was a kid, but does it still hold up after 20 years? Would I recommend it to anyone curious about Kamen Rider?
Hell yeah!
Let's find out together. I will walk you through a quick recap of the story. Don't worry, there will be no major spoilers. In the show, there is another world that resides in the mirrors.
Hot diggity dog! This place is magnificent.
Inside, there are scary creatures called contract monsters. You wonder why contract is in their name? You're right. Some people with the help of a special device called advanced card decks can make a contract with them, thus turning them into a Kamen Rider. And what do they do next, you might ask? They fight. The riders fight the rock mirror monsters and fight each other. A mysterious figure promises the riders a request for anything if that rider is the last one standing. Basically, it's a battle royale scenario.
Action is coming.
They fight with the advanced decks given to them. Each has many kinds of cards, which give them unique powers and weapons. Some can create swords and guns and shields. Some can summon monsters or hallucinations, stealing other cards, or grant devastating final attacks. There are a total of 13 decks for 13 riders. Who will come up on top and have the ultimate wish? You will find out after watching the show. But what makes Kamen Rider Ryuki so good, memorable, and unique? When I was a kid, the best thing about the show was the fights. I gotta admit, watching the riders duking it out is really fun. But what about 20 years later? Do I still like these shows? Have to say, I still like seeing the riders duking it out. But now, there are more things I like about the show. With more knowledge and experience as I grow up, I can see amazing stories and characters. Ryuki is a bit different from other Kamen Rider and Super Sentai shows. Normally, the typical show would follow a hero or a group of misfits. They are coded to by a wise guiding figure. After being given superpowers, our heroes are set on their missions to save the world. Ryuki chooses a different path. There is almost no definite evil. Well, there are the mirror monsters, but they play a minimal role in the show. The real saucy fight is between the riders. They don't fight for the greater good. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. They fight for their own desires. Among the riders, our main character Shinji Kido, or Ryuki Rider, may be the best one. A noisy, clumsy, naive reporter from a small online journal. He has a contract with a dragon monster called Drag Rider. Let's just say he was dragged into this fight. If I can say who are the few true heroes of the series, it would be Shinji, both for his selflessness, the tendency to save people, and how he changes people around him. His goals never change in the series: to save people, friends or foes, and to stop the rider fight. Shinji always tried his best to do it, even at his own great cost. Many times, his own kindness and naivety make him easy target to be manipulated by others. He's different from other riders. He does not want to win for a wish. Shinji is nowhere near a competitor. The more he knows about his foes, the more he wants to save them, not to kill them. That's for the riders though. For the monsters, oh boy. Shinji always goes full all out. He's a bit like Naruto in the sense of being unpredictable in combat. In the whole series, we can see its growth. Near the end, he becomes even more committed. Shinji wants to save everyone and stop this nonsense fight once and for all, even at his own demise. I like Shinji a lot, maybe because I have a strong admiration and bias for the good guys' characters. The other thing I really like about Kamen Rider Ryuki is the sheer number of riders. There are a total of 13. Each has their own theme, abilities, aesthetic, unique contract monsters, and fighting style. Some of them are a bit lacking, but still, the variety alone is really cool. We got Robot Cop long-range style, close-range fighters, knight with sword and cape, or even summoner-style riders. Some can disable others' cards or steal them, even some nasty tricks like creating clones. which makes their fights much more enjoyable. Each episode feels fresh and new with the addition of a new rider. They could be allies or enemies. This adds a bit of mystery and detective element to the stories. Sometimes we see ourselves in them, normal people with burning desires. Good or bad, they all reflected a bit of real life. A corrupt police detective, a genius lawyer, a journalist, a college student, a fortune teller, or even a criminal. Not everyone can be a hero. Some people with power in their hands will pursue their own interest without caring about others. Kind of like real life, I guess. And by the way, look at this man's drip. He's straight out of Bayonetta or Devil May Cry. The show is a near-perfect balance of serious moments and funny ones. In one episode, we're dealing with life-threatening enemies. In the next one, we'll see them struggling with the lawyer's crazy ex-girlfriend. Kamen Rider Ryuki also shines for its characters because it has 50 episodes. We have so much time to get to know the riders and their stories. Maybe that's why they feel so real, so human. Well, except for the personal butler or can see the future. But I hope you get my point. So, does the show still hold up after 20 years? Yes it does. You can totally start your Kamen Rider journey with Ryuki. It has an amazing story, cool characters, and the music slaps. I recommend it to anyone who wants to start watching Kamen Rider. And if you're looking for a show with both action and mystery, it'll be the best choice even after 20 years.